discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, this video is brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering you a free audiobook with a 30-day free trial membership. All you need to do is go to audibletrial.com/BG Unlocked. The link is in the description below, and now enjoy the video. Hey everyone, welcome to the discussion for Black Angel. Now this game was, this actually wasn't even on my radar up until like a couple weeks before Gen Con. And I watched like a run through for it and read a little bit on it, and it just seemed like it was totally going to be up my alley. So this ended up being my #1 game, anticipated game that was coming out of Gen Con. So, with that being said, what do you guys think?
It's not my favorite.
Oh, really?
Didn't care for it.
Wow, okay.
Personally.
Yeah. I like it better the second time. I don't like it very well.
Gotcha. I was going to ask that if you liked it better after having played it.
Yeah, no, it did help. I still am not a huge fan.
Okay. Okay, so...
Granted, I might have to play it a few more times.
Right.
I don't think it's bad.
This is one of those games that does require multiple playthroughs, because learning the game, I personally think it's simple, like quote unquote. Like, this is way easier to teach someone to play than, say, CO2.
Yeah.
Or anything like that. But at the same time, this game has so many like options and a lot of like minor things that you have to remember, like the color of the die that I use, that's the card I draw, and then you have these where it's like, okay, so I need to be able to have ships to move on there, and then I need to place these in a certain way.
And I have to have 2 robots if I want to move.
Yeah, if I want to deploy a new ship and then own it, and then other than that, then I can just kind of move around and just... Because like there were times where I would use a mission, get the benefit I wanted, and then move that guy away to just jump on someone else's mission. So whenever... And then so then you also have to remember, okay, well I have this programming thing. So there's a lot of stuff going on that... if you are not 100% familiar with the game, and unfortunately they only give one appendix for all the cards, which is annoying. If you're going to do something with symbols, you give every possible player the option, so we don't have to pass one around.
Yeah.
Because like, if you want to strategize, then you have to know what your cards are saying.
Yeah.
And if you want to be efficient in it, because this game is all about efficiency. If you are not like efficient every step of the way, you're gonna be hindered, because it's like, okay, so crap, I need robots to be able to do this. Oh, okay, so how can I get robots? Oh, I got rid of my tile that gave me robots. Okay, so how am I gonna manage that? Okay, well, let's see what cards I can get. And then, so just things like that, that if you have difficulty planning ahead, this is not the game for you. This is not a strategy game that you can, like, just go with the flow, because you'll have a bad time.
That's probably why.
So Josh, what did you not like about it?
Basically the fact I couldn't have flexibility as we went.
Okay.
I had to rely heavily on thinking ahead.
Gotcha.
And it may also be because I'm a little tired, but it's just the fact that like I had to rely so heavily on, like, at one point I literally was hoping you would do something.
Oh yeah.
And you didn't do it. And I'm like, well, I'm screwed for the rest of this game.
Right.
And memorizing all the intricate little pieces. Like, I placed the card there, and I was thinking, oh, I can use this dice to automatically... No, I couldn't.
Yep. Hell, even placing the cards is a strategy in and of itself, because if you're like... if it's not, like, a neutralization one that just pops off as soon as it goes away, like, you're like, oh, I think I'll set it, like, here. That'll be enough time. And then you look and you're like, oh, everyone will do sequence B, so now it's just going to shoot up to the front, and I won't be able to utilize it as much as I want to. So not only do you have to worry about your own thing going on, you very much have to be aware of the board state.
I forgot about these tiles generating robots.
Yep.
If I had known I could generate them, I would have been placing them in here to get more dice.
Yep. Yeah, but then they stay there. I mean, you can move them out, but then you obviously lose the value. You lose the ability to get the extra die. I personally do like that, though. I like how tight-knit the game is for this kind of game. Like, we just played 2 radically different dice worker placement games. Teotihuacan and then this one. And Teotihuacan is a lot more free-flowing. Like, you have multiple options of ways to get points. Here, it's just like, you have to know what you're doing. And I have played this game 3 times solo, and each time I did something different. Now, you still have a lot of variety in the points that you're getting, and how you want to go about it. But, and I will say, I never got tired of playing it. Like, I've played this 5 times in a row now, in 2 days. And I still enjoyed every second of it. I think it's a very particular game for a group of people. Obviously, you didn't like it, and I knew you wouldn't like it. Whenever I played it solo, I was like, I'm going to make her play this, and she's not going to enjoy it. We were going to do a 2-player one through. She's like, are we not recording? I'm like, no. Because it's like, you're going to have to understand how everything works. But I really like the programming. I like how that's its own game in and of itself. It's like, okay, well, how do I want to slot these so I can utilize my cards? I like how the cards are multi-use. You can either use them for abilities out on the field, or you can use them to activate your programs. Did you guys? So I'm assuming I'm the only one here that liked it.
I mean, probably.
Okay.
I mean, like, I don't hate it. It's just like...
I don't think it's bad. It's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
you just already said it for me, like...
So was there anything else that you guys didn't like?
I feel like... You say it's tight-knit. I feel like it's not all over the place, but it just doesn't feel cohesive to me for some reason.
Okay.
Like,
I can see why you would say that.
It was mainly just where, like, it felt disjointed when you play a card, and in most games you're like, oh, okay, cool, I played my card, that was it, that was my turn.
Yeah.
So it's probably just what we're used to, and then it's like, you still need to do your action.
Right, because
and it's like, and I wouldn't think that far ahead because I only think in the way that I'm used to.
Mm-hmm.
And so I get frustrated because I'm like, I didn't fucking think of my turn, great, now you're all staring at me. And I don't know what this goddamn symbol means.
Yeah,
and
this game is very prone to anyone who has analysis paralysis. This game will definitely, hurt them. Yeah, and I actually completely agree. This game can feel very just disjointed, and it's like this, because it is, like, this is kind of its own thing. This is its own thing.
Yeah.
That's its own thing.
Yeah.
But whereas, like, I keep harking back a little bit to the Vita Lasarda games, because they are all kind of like that too, but everything makes thematic sense and everything connects and ties together.
Yeah.
This one, where everything in his games are like strings to each little piece, this one is like, here's this whole thing, that attaches to this whole thing.
It's staccato.
Yeah.
Like, it's not...
Because you're right, yeah, there are times where it's like, I'm going to play this, and I'm going to move a ship, and then moving the ship from the tile is the same thing as if you did the action to move your ship.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I'm going to move that over there, I'm going to play this, and that's like a whole thing.
Yeah.
Whereas, so then you're like, okay, then it's like, alright, yeah, great. Now do your turn.
Yeah, yeah. And that got me hung up. Like, I remember the first time yesterday when I played this, I was like, this just fucking sucks.
Right.
Like,
yeah, it's funny. All the things you guys don't like about it is the things I do love about it.
Which it makes sense, because that's how you think, that is not how I think.
Right.
And so it makes sense that I don't like this
Right.
game.
Because you get to sit here and be like, because that's how you utilize the dice, and that's how you can use your mission cards almost immediately instead of having to wait another turn or hope someone does something or rolls something great. Because it's like, okay, I'm going to move a ship over there to that blue planet, then I'm going to, play that, then I'm going to be able to use my blue die to activate it because I'm already there.
Yeah, and that's another thing, like, I would forget that we needed to place dice to activate something. I'm used to, in other games, you just say, like, yeah, okay, I'm going to activate
I'm just going to do that.
turn.
Right,
like,
right.
And so, yeah.
I won't lie, my biggest, now that I've thought about it a little, my biggest thing, there's a 0 on the dice.
I
that does suck.
hate that. Why?
That is true.
I don't know. I really don't. Like,
why not?
You can still use a 0 die.
I would just put a 1 and then have it
Yeah.
flip into a 2.
Yeah. Like, I really don't know why they put a 0. I can't think of any mechanical or
To make it
strategic way.
hard.
Yeah, it makes you. That probably is what it is. If there's a 0, then that means you can turn it to a 2, which is effective, but that means you have to manage your debris.
Yeah.
So it just kind of, a 0 is really only there for you to want to clean up the ship because it's getting attacked. But at the same time, you would want to do that anyway because you get to take those and activate your programs again.
Yeah.
And you get to use them to dice mitigate. It's really funny. When we play Teotihuacan, you said in the discussion that you love how you don't roll the dice. And I was like, oh, whoops.
Oh no, they both hate it.
So I don't generally hate rolling dice because I'm a big fan of like Pathfinder and tabletop games. It's when the dice result is 0.
Yeah, I totally get it.
It feels like, oh wow, it's always a failure.
Because how quickly the game can go. Because in a 3-player game, you're like, oh, it's probably going to play a lot longer. No, because it's like if we all stick to our plan and just, because the actions or the turns take not that long. For generally they don't. Then it's like, oh, we all have no dice. Sequence B, B, B. That's 3 tiles that are just gone.
Yeah.
Which I like, because what I also really like about it is, there's a 0, and that does suck. I didn't even think about it. I just was like, oh, that's just part of the game.
Yeah, I honestly didn't either.
And it's not, and the other good thing
I'm also salty because I rolled so many damn 1s.
So, exactly, that's what I was going to get to, is even though you roll dice, what I love about this game is you are not stuck with what you get. You can be, and sometimes you will be, but what's fantastic is that if you roll all 3s, great, here you go. Here's a resource, I'd like to use it. Or if you roll all 1s, but I roll all 3s, well, that was my turn, sequence B. Now it comes back to you. You have no dice, but you're still going to do sequence A, and we did it to Cat multiple times.
Yeah.
So you get to be, you get to be efficient and effective with other people's dice, and I actually really like that. Because I would hate this game if it was kind of like that, where it's just, oh, great, all 0s. All right, I guess I'm doing nothing.
I'm on the opposite spectrum where, like, I remember you told me that yesterday, and I was like, that's neat. I guess the person with the dice doesn't get to take a turn.
But they get a compensation of a resource, which in future turns allows them
Future turns.
Right. And this game is all about kind of future thinking.
And again,
thematically.
Someone like me,
thinking
shut up. Thinking the way I think, it just immediately just turned me off. I was
or what people are doing is you came in second because we kept paying you.
Yes. Yeah. No. Well, I even said it during the game. I was like, "It's end time. It's time to start saving up."
Right. Or if you can utilize your cards, because there are cards where it's like spend resources for 3 points. Then it's like, okay, guys, keep paying me. Then you're like, boom, I'm gonna play this, and I'm gonna discard all the cards. So there's 9 points right there. Oh, and then I'm gonna pay you to use your 3. Then I'm gonna do it again.
Oh, don't you feel stupid?
So it doesn't feel like you're helping them a lot by giving them resources, but over time
it adds up.
It does add up, and then you're like, huh. So I really like that. I also like how they have the debris that you can turn into flip it. Because if you roll low, great, spend debris, make it higher. And then if you already rolled high, then great, you rolled high.
Say, I don't hate this game. We'll have to play it again.
For sure. And I totally get that. I think it works great as a 2-player game. I don't really like it solo, as I explained to you. It's in the AI. Like, how hard we worked to get to the points we got. Like, the highest I ever got was actually 54 against the AI. That was my first game, and I beat him. And I'm pretty sure I forgot some rules. But then after that, there was a game where I literally, like, I was like, I can't finish this because he was about to lap me in points. The other thing I also really like that space system, because how much you're doing out there dictates a lot of stuff, because it's like, well, if I want more dice mitigation, the ship has to get damaged. So I have to start going out there. This is actually a huge part of the game, is going out into space, because, oh, we're running out of technologies. Well, better start doing some missions. You want big point swings missions. Like either through neutralization or through the missions. Now, the other thing that can be frustrating is, unless you're playing the advanced rules, you're at the whim of your cards. Which, that I don't like in just the base game. Like, there were multiple times where I'm like, these are fucking useless to me. Like, I can't.
As you can tell,
Yeah, I mean, using the Ravager cards, there's some out there. I think I got rid of it. Yeah, like this one right here.
I had a grand total of 13 cards, and they all
Right.
fell.
And like sometimes I'll forget. I'll be like, oh man, I totally forgot to do my programs, and I have cards that could help me. But I still like that you have multiple ways to activate them. This card right here, discard 2 Ravager cards for 3 points. So then you want it to get damaged. Hold this in your hand, clean it up, play this, get rid of them. So I don't know. I just really like it's a solid game. Is it my favorite? No. Like, does it still warrant being my #1 anticipated game? Probably. Out of what came out at Gen Con, I still think it's still the best one that I've gotten so far, but there's so many over there like that I still have to play. Like, this could easily just backslide for that list in itself. I don't know. But my gripe with the cards is easily fixed because an advanced rule is you draw 2 and pick 1. So that would help a lot more with strategy, because it's like, oh okay, oh man, what avenue am I going for? Oh, here's one, because there were some that I had, like this one that I actually wanted to get to but couldn't. I had so many robots I wanted to get to that planet and then discard them for points. Then I forgot. I forgot to do that. And the point swing for this is really not that bad, 46 to 28.
It wasn't even bad when we played it yesterday. Like,
No, I think you were at like 30 something. I was at like 50.
Something.
So I mean that sounds like 20 points, but
No, I
you
feel
can
like
do
it
9.
was even less than that. But like
Was
it was within a reasonable range because I
Yeah.
remember thinking that.
So I just think there's a lot going on, but it's still really solid. What do you guys think of the advanced technologies and how you get your point efficiency from those?
So I felt dumb for putting 2 of them in the same row.
Oh, well, see what's cool about that is because there are times where I needed yellow and I was trying to push this out. I'm like, oh, I don't want to push yellow out, but since it's so open for the colored ones, I just moved a yellow one up and then I pushed I moved a green one in and then pushed that green one out just to get this one further out. So you have a lot of control with your programs. Putting 2 in the same row is not actually a bad idea because then you just keep funneling those out and then you pop them. But yeah, to get your point efficiency from that, you have to do missions and you have to own missions and get them out to max those out. I think that's an interesting way. A little bit confusing to try and explain because it's like, look, they only give you 4 points. But if you have them over here and you have cards underneath, then they get more. But that's not how many points you get. That's just how much you can get. It's a little weird. Other than that, like, I really don't have any negative complaints about it. Besides, like, we thought the dice were weighted. They're not. Or
They're not. They just have multiple.
They just have, yeah, and with 2 1s on there, you'd think a 0 wouldn't be on there.
Yeah, it's already rough because
Yeah.
you got 2 1s.
Yeah. I guarantee you that's exactly why a 0's there, so you have to spend debris to make it a 2, which is a decent die. I like how the Ravagers attack. I think that's an interesting, like, because this isn't semi-cooperative, which is fantastic. I like how it's not, oh, well, if so many things get damaged, the ship blows up. It's like, no, we're just kind of useless because our dice suck now.
Yeah.
And we're damaging, and now they're all -0s, and then we're all going to, if you eventually let it get out of hand, then all the dice have damage, so then every time you have to roll them, you're losing points. I like how the Ravager locations, if you can't do it, you just lose 1 point, and you still get to do your action. It could have easily just been, if you can't do it, you can't go there, which would suck. There's just a lot of variety and a lot of strategy to this game, more so than I think a lot of people are expecting. Other than that, you guys got anything else?
No.
Did you guys like anything about the game?
Well, yeah, I mean, not.
I think the theme is cool.
Yeah.
Theme is very neat.
I'll do definitely that board.
The artwork's
beautiful.
actually really good.
Yeah.
Very vibrant,
I
neon.
love the color scheme. Yeah.
I do too.
Love it.
I like how it's not busy. It's very minimalistic. Like each of these could have just had like detail and locations, but for this, I actually really like it because we're AI. Like we're not moving around. We're controlling the robots that move around.
Yeah.
I like that. Believe it or not, I actually like how the board's set up.
Okay.
I do like the point system.
Yeah.
How it's like that.
Yeah.
I like how the flow of the board is. Like
Mhm.
you play stuff here, comes down.
Yeah. Yeah. It all makes like cohesive sense. I like how that moves to give you the feeling that you're flying through space.
I don't like the material it's made out of.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of shitty.
But I do like it's the flow of space.
Yeah.
The ship is moving.
Yeah. And that'll change your strategy too, based off where and how they're flipping and how the planets are coming out.
Funny enough, I think it's kind of neat that like this plus this kind of looks like a ship.
Oh, it does. Huh. I didn't even think of that. I just thought this was space and that this was our ship that we're flying through. But yeah, it kind of does. Shitty for recording purposes.
Oh yes, yeah, because this is like
Way
off right
yeah.
here
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
So, I haven't looked at the play rate. I've only read a PDF file.
It's a really good play rate. Like, all the cards have numbers on them above where you place your worker to know where to find it.
Oh, like 29.
Yeah, so you just look for 29 on there. It's a really good play rate. I just hate how there's one. Are you talking about the appendix?
Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Not this.
Yeah.
Not the turn sequence
Yeah.
card, but the actual appendix.
Speaking of which, I also really like how you can lock your dice. Like, because it's
I
like,
do
if you
like
don't
that.
roll, if you do roll well, and since that's your whole turn,
You're like, I want that.
then yeah, because I think you can, you can only reserve a single one, but still, if you roll a 3 and you're like, I need this, you can spend a resource to lock it so no one else can take it. I do enjoy that. Otherwise, it would be like every time you roll well, people can just be like, oh, I'll pay you,
Yeah.
and just keep screwing you over
Yeah.
in that regard. But yeah, Kat, what about you?
I said yeah that I like it, and then I struggled to find things that I like about
that are
it.
good.
Because I don't want to say that I hate it. I don't hate it. I don't. The production quality is decent.
Everything else except those are the only things warping.
It's probably just the way that they're cut.
Yeah.
Because like this one's kind of like trying to like come up a little bit, so I bet it's just the way that it's cut.
It's also because it's humid AF
That's
outside.
right.
Yeah.
That is
yeah.
true.
So.
Because you did a lot better in this
Yeah.
game.
I'm able to grasp it. It doesn't mean I'm gonna enjoy it.
Yeah.
I can grasp things I don't like, but.
All right.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like now that I'm actually thinking of things that I like enjoy about the game, it's just not like it's just.
It's also very late.
That is
Yeah,
true.
I'm just struggling. I'm struggling to. It's not very. Yeah, it's late for me, but.
So, with that being said, I think I've talked about everything that I like about it. Scale of 1 to 10. Okay, we'll go this way, just because I know I'm gonna have the highest score.
I'll put it at a 4.
A 4? That's gross.
Well, for me, I mean.
Yeah, you're gross.
Like.
You think it's a below average game?
For me, yeah.
If you had to be objective about it, you'd probably give it a 5.
I mean, the rules work.
Kind of. There's one thing that's like, oh, what does that mean?
I mean, if you're basing it off of just logic and rules alone, then it's probably like an 8 or something.
Yeah.
But I take emotion into account. It's my personal rating.
Josh?
I hate it. It's a 1.
I mean, it does sound like you hate it. But, so that's why I'm getting confused. Because you're like, I don't hate it. And then you're like, 4, I hate it.
Well, I don't think 4 is hate.
It's a below average.
Negative
hate it.
55. No, I don't think it's a bad game. It's not my favorite thing ever. I'm gonna give it a 7.
Okay.
So it's good. That score could go up or go down depending on other playthroughs.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say it's awful though. I've played far worse games.
That's true.
Far, far worse.
Right. And this same company made another game called Twa, which is a fan favorite for a lot of people. I've never played Twa, so I can't compare them. Let me give it a 3. No, just like after I review. I have played it 5 times.
In 2 days.
In 2 days. And even though everything, like, I really like a lot of stuff about it, like, it's weird because I'm not, like, excited about, like...
Playing it.
Yeah, it's more... Well, I am, because it's very strategy heavy, and that's what I like, so I don't, like, get a lot of, like euphoria from playing it, but I really... Because it's more... I'm just crunching and just thinking of everything, and then at the same time, I'm trying to keep the game going. I think I'm going to sit it at an 8.5. I think because it has everything that I like in a game. But you're right, like emotion does get put into it, and it's very mathematical, like very technical. So I just have to. I can't be joking around a lot because I'm like I need to figure out how to make everything work.
Yeah.
So
And like that's not.
yeah, and the solo mode is not the best in my opinion, but I am also not a solo board game player. So I think an 8.5 is where I'm sitting. So you guys have anything else?
Not that I can think of. I think the Black Angel design, like the actual design of the ship, is like really cool.
I think it's really cool too. It's almost kind of like Egyptian.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, and I think
Kind of like a sphinx.
yeah, I think actually I could see this going up to a 9. I just need a break from it. like
Like,
Well, why not just play it 2 more times tomorrow?
yeah, actually, you know, it's a good idea. I'll play it solo tomorrow.
you know,
Yeah.
you played it 5 times, let's just round it to 10. Play it.
Right.
Let's just keep going.
But I will say, I mean, that does speak to it, because I played, there's a lot of games, not a lot of games I can play 5 times in a row and still enjoy it.
And still give it an 8.5.
Yeah, so I think an 8.5 is a good rating
More
at this
trees.
point. So, that's our thoughts on Black Angel. Let us know what you think of the game in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thanks so much for watching this, and if you like this video, then click the subscribe button below to enjoy any video that I put out. And right next to that subscribe button is a little bell. Click that so you get notified of whenever I actually upload these videos. If you want to support the channel, you can definitely visit my Patreon page. The link is in the description below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.